Welcome to the Mick Sterling Experience, a weekly listen to local musicians, music and interviews in front of a live studio audience, a program furthering awareness of the 30 Days Foundation. And now to Utility Room A along the banks of the Minnesota River. It's the Mick Sterling Experience.
All right, once again, it's the Mick Sterling Experience, and we have a live studio audience ready to hear some great music from great musicians. The program is benefiting the 30 Days Foundation and is brought to you in part by 21st Century Bank, Wallace Radio Syndication, Star Prairie Trout Farm, and Unlocked Mission. And here to get us started on the show, let's get it on the road with Mick Sterling. Take it away, Mick.
Hello, everybody. Hey. Thank you, Matt. Well, this is very exciting. I'm looking at couches. I'm looking at a bar. I'm looking at this amazing space that our live studio audience is here tonight. My name is Mick Sterling. This is the Mick Sterling Experience. I am a singer, songwriter, performer, event producer, author. I do a lot of things. I'm my mother's son. So that's what I have to do. It's in my genes. We're very happy to present this show. We hope that you'll enjoy it, and we hope that you get to hear some incredible music every week. And we want to thank our great sponsors. And throughout the show, we'll be doing some ads. We'll be talking about the charity that I run, the 30 Days Foundation, which is an amazing statewide charity that assists people in real-life financial crisis. But at my core, I am a singer-songwriter and a performer, and I've been very blessed to be in the Twin Cities since about when did people know who I was? 1988. That's about when people figured I was playing before that, but nobody knew who I was. And most people still don't know who I am, so that's why I'm doing this radio show. So I am very honored to introduce our artist tonight. This gentleman has been blowing people's minds in the Twin Cities and literally around the world. He plays all over the world with great people. But in the Twin Cities, we've been very blessed to have this very talented gentleman perform for all kinds of bands and his own solo stuff. So I'm very, very honored to introduce to the radio audience listening to this great show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, out in Radio Land, this is Dylan Salfer, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to bed.
Thanks for having me, Mick. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Go ahead, babe.
All righty. Seems like I've lost track of my time again. Will what they want carry weight in the end? If I get what I want, is it what's best for me to them? Take me to that place where time stops and I'm alone, dead on the tracks. Take my watch, I'll be gone. Yeah. I'll be gone. I'll be gone. Reality sucks me back in again. No sign of life near me in the deep end. I just sit at the bottom, watch my breath float up again. 'cause down here my hair don't fall out of my head. Take me to that place where time stops and I'm alone. Dead on the tracks, take my watch, I'm gone. I'll be gone. I'll be gone. You're supposed to be family. Instead, I find the end alone. I'll be gone. I'll be gone. Take me to the place where time stops and I'm alone. Dead on the tracks, take my watch, I'll be gone. Hey.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the crowd said, yes. Wow. Let's talk. Let's talk. You're listening to the Mick Sterling Experience. That was Dylan Salfer destroying the room right here. So Dylan, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your history in the Twin Cities. Tell us where you got your start.
Oh, my start. I suppose my start was hearing all of the music that my parents listened to when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad had all of the Elton John. I know we were just talking about Elton John.
Yeah.
My dad listened to every Elton John record. And my mom loved like Patsy Cline, Shania Twain, and then they both had the Bob Marley live record. And that was always my favorite
record too.
Yeah, when I was young, 2-3 years old, that was like my favorite record that they
That's
had.
really funny. There's a very similar thing because my parents were in the bar business. And my first record, my hugest influences as a kid, were the Monkees and Ray Charles.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It was a complete dichotomy, but that's
Yeah.
what was there.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that
Yeah, that
weird?
one was
It's
there.
like me too. And my dad had these two friends that would come over and play guitar. And everybody would sing songs together at parties,
Yeah.
bonfires, whatever it was. And I always just gravitated towards that as a young kid. And one of their friends bought me a toy guitar, because I loved it so much. And I would make them all sit on the floor and give them shows from the kitchen table. And then the same guy later gifted me my first guitar. So that was when I was
Dylan, talk about that feeling when you knew, when you started learning how to play guitar, that this was something that was unique to you. And tell us about that feeling that you had when you knew you kind of had this thing a little bit, when it felt really good to you.
I feel like it was more so just picking it up and feeling good together.
Yeah.
Because that was where I knew I wanted to do it when I was young, just because of that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Everybody would be like about their business at the party, talking or whatever. But as soon as the guitar came out, everybody was there singing together.
Yeah.
And I think that was the moment when I was part of that. Before I even got the toy guitar or anything, that's when I knew.
So when did you start performing
So that was probably
professionally?
3 years old is when that
You started
clicked.
performing professionally at
No,
3 years old.
no.
Yes. Love
It
that.
was about 10 years later when I was 13. So I really was physically big enough and able to work on the instrument about 9 is
Okay.
when I officially started. Before that, I had it and would mess around with it, on my lap, or taking the guitar apart and putting it back together. But when I was 9, I started playing, and I took some lessons for about 2 years. And when I was 12, I started going to this open jam in St. Paul. The place is closed down now, but my dad, again, he had some friend that opened a bar, and they had an open jam there, and it was Tim Rigstad. Do you know Tim?
Yeah, I know that name, yeah.
Tim was running this open jam there with Michael Velasquez on drums and a bass player that ended up moving away. But anyway, that's where I met everybody, was at that jam, and then the Shaw's open jam on Mondays. And then when I was 13, I was in a couple bands and also started my own band in town and was gigging.
We're going to go to a break real quick, but do you remember your first paid gig, and what did you get paid?
It was a ticketed event at the Recovery Church in St. Paul for some event that they had, and I think we made like $600 or something on tickets for a trio.
$600. That's
it
way
was
better
good.
than my first paid gig.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't bad.
That's not bad.
It wasn't bad.
That's not
no.
bad. Well, we're going to take a real short break here. My name is Mick Sterling, and you're listening to the Mick Sterling Experience with the incredibly talented Dylan Salfer in front of a live audience here. Thanks, everybody.
Right. Yeah, and thanks, Mick. And so when we come back, though, from break, we're going to learn about Mick-isms, along with more great music here from Dylan. So stick with us on the Mick Sterling Experience.
At CHS, we go the extra mile, opening an origination facility in Brazil to maintain a year-round supply of soybeans, ensuring that thousands of bins of fruit remain Whether it's energy, grains, or foods, at CHS, we're more than just a business partner. We make your vision a reality. CHS, resources for enriching lives. Visit chsinc.com.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
CRC Lithium Grease will make your U-joints, motor bearings, and anything
Mr.
else you can think of glide with ease. This versatile lithium base is extremely stable, will not break down or run out, and is extremely water resistant. Stop by Hardware Hank today to get your CRC Lithium Grease and find yourself gliding with ease.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
The Mick Sterling Experience.
talking with Chris Francis from Fishing for Business.
You know, I've seen a lot of business get done in the boardroom, but I've watched a lot more get done on the lake. Because when you get out of the confinement and relax, you can really get business done.
How does Fishing for Business work?
People should go and log on to the website, fishingforbusiness.com, and tell us what you need. We then plan and deliver either an extended or a day trip of hunting or fishing. All equipment, meals, and opportunity are provided, and that lets you take care of your business.
Who uses Fishing for Business?
Maybe.
Corporations,
Hey, Matt.
school outings,
Do you
church
have a
functions,
music
you
stand
name
here
it.
by chance?
If you want to close a big deal or thank them
You have
for
one in the
giving
car?
you
Yeah,
business.
I think I have to get it.
Fishing for Business handles groups of 2 to 200.
Tell us the story of business getting done with Fishing for Business.
I took 2 owners of a manufacturing company in South St. Paul and their 4 distributors out on a duck hunting and fishing trip in South Dakota. We crushed the ducks. They got their deal done, and they still talk about it.
Fishing for Business, a unique way to get business done.
All right,
on
1
the
minute,
web at
we'll come back.
fishingforbusiness.com.
I like saving money. I mean, it's not like I have a purse stuffed with coupons or... Okay, I do. The other day, I went into Wells Fargo to get help with a car loan.
Good news. You qualify for our double discount promotion. Get double the interest rate discount we normally give on select new loans and lines of credit just for being a Wells Fargo checking package customer.
And the best part, I didn't even need a coupon.
Come to Wells Fargo to discuss how the double discount promotion can help with the interest rate on your new loan or line of credit. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Subject to credit qualification. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. Equal housing lender.
There's a resort called Give Kids the World where children with life-threatening illnesses can fill their week with pure joy. Kids and their families indulge in simple pleasures like swimming, visiting local Orlando theme parks, and eating unlimited ice cream, all for free. Call 800-995-KIDS or visit the Give Kids the World website at gktw.org and help give them a time to remember. Brought to you by Give Kids the World and the Ad Council.
Now back to the Mick Sterling Experience.
Anyway.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Mick Sterling Experience with Dylan Salfer as our musician. And we're going to talk for a moment about Mick-isms, a collection of conversation enders. Mick-isms is perhaps one of the first and only coffee table books, meaning that if you visit mickisms.com and purchase Mick-isms for only $4.99, you will receive $4.99, I should say. You will receive 1 page every 3 days in your email at 7 a.m. It takes 5 seconds to read, and it's the email you want to receive. So Mick-isms at mickisms.com. So Mick, fill us in. Fill us in on Mick-isms.
I need to have people introduce my products all the time. I think that's nice. That happens. Well, yeah, Mick is my 3rd book, and I have these thoughts. They make sense. Sometimes they're cohesive. Sometimes they're not. And I just thought it'd be pretty interesting to release this 3rd book as in this form, where it's just it's an email, and it just comes to you every 3 days, and it's very short and it's very funny. Sometimes you'll think it's funny. Sometimes you won't know what it means at all. But it's certainly it's a day brightener, and it does come at 7 in the morning because I was told that if you send it too late, it will be ignored. But people read emails mostly when they're sent at 7 in the morning. It's some kind of statistic that somebody found out. So that's how the book is, and I'm really proud of it. It's very fun, and it doesn't really matter when you start. It's about 143 pages of thoughts, and you can start at any time, and it ends at any time. And if you don't want to read it one every 3 days, you can read the next one. You know, you read 2, and it takes 10 seconds.
Is there a Mick-ism example you could give us? Do you have one off the top of your head?
Yeah. So like one Mick-ism is, I'm sorry I was late, but I was watching the Three's Company episode where there was a misunderstanding. You know, just things like that. They're just kind of rambling thoughts. You know, I've never met a humble Belgian waffle. You know, it's just weird things that, you know, may mean something to you or not. So anyways, that's what Mick-isms are, a collection of conversation enders. And thank you, Matt, for bringing it up. All right, listen, we are back to the Mick Sterling Experience. So glad you guys are listening. We are really enjoying with a live studio audience here an incredibly talented young man who has so much to share all around the world with this incredible talent. We're going to do another song, Dylan. You ready to go? Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Salfer.
cover all the mirrors in my room. I can't stand to see the person who I've become. Who have I become? The child is looking up so scared. The bottle's washing me away with all the things I can't bear. Can I do it dry this time? When the storm comes and thunder shakes the ground, she's the only light around. I'll do what I got to do, so don't you feel the need to change a thing, no, about you. Both our hands are dirty now, and I'm sorry that you can't wash away the mess I bring. How do I deserve a love like this when I wear a smile and fake confidence every day? When I close my eyes at night, you're all I see. I want for my reflection to be the man that you see in me, yeah. Maybe someday, when the storm comes and thunder shakes the ground, she's the only light around. I'll do what I got to do, so don't you feel the need to change a thing, no, about you. Both our hands are dirty now, and I'm sorry that you can't wash away the mess I bring. I'll do what I got to do, so don't you feel the need to change a thing, no, about you. Both our hands are dirty now, and I'm sorry that you can't wash away the mess I bring. I'll do what I got to do, so don't you feel the need to change a thing about you. Both our hands are dirty now, and I'm sorry that you can't wash away the mess I bring, the mess I bring, the mess I bring.
That's Dylan Salfer on the Mick Sterling Experience. What a thrill to see there's a few people that I perform with that do what you do, and that you're just doing this with your fingers. There's no effects. You're taking that guitar and making the fingers make it the way you want it to sound. That is such an amazing thing that you do, and so few guitarists, at least in my world, do that. Why do you do that? What is it that you don't want effects, that you trust your fingers and your gut and your heart? How does that happen?
Well, I feel like the whole reason to play music is to trust your gut and your heart.
Yeah.
You know, that's the message. And the less you have, you know, I don't like put a bunch of pedals on my voice or something, or I don't like a lot of effects, and I like the guitar to be the same way.
Yeah.
You know, once you get a certain amount of comfortability on the instrument, you can kind of speak best without anything in between it.
It's an amazing thing to witness, man. It really is just so great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I grew up listening to a lot and learning from a lot of the blues greats. I'm very lucky that at a young age I got to play with a lot of my heroes and hang around them, you know, like Buddy Guy, B.B. King, James Cotton, a bunch of old blues cats. And it was like, that was it for them. You know, it was all the tone and everything was in your fingers. And it was about expression.
Talk about that experience. Talk about being backstage, being on stage, hanging out with those absolute legends. What, outside of the musical obvious thing that you glommed onto or identified, talk about just the being with those kind of forces of nature. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I feel like every week or so, every month, it gets more surreal to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I know that at 14 years old or 13 years old, getting to meet and play with these people was very shocking, but I'm just realizing now, you know, there's been times in my life where I've been complaining, you know, like complaining about things being hard, or a lot of my friends do as well that didn't get the same experience, constantly complaining about the music business or whatever, it being hard, and then I'm like, well, you know, Buddy Guy tells me stories about literally growing up on a cotton field and like hitchhiking his way to Chicago. You know, those guys were stabbing and shooting each other. You know, there's, I mean, like, literally, you know, someone stole your name in Chicago, booking gigs under your name. Like, look out.
I did an interview with Willie West, one of the great New Orleans singer-songwriters. Hung out with the Meters and Alan Toussaint, and he was talking about this. He was talking about this gig that he saw in Chicago where he was on stage and they brought out a casket, and they opened up the casket and it was some guy singing Otis Redding songs from the casket. It was like, now we don't get those kind of experiences here in the Twin Cities. That was an amazing thing, you know, that happened. Wow. Those guys have stories to burn for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, I think there's a couple stories like this, but I'm pretty sure Little Walter had one where it was like a harmonica player from Chicago, and there was some other guy booking gigs under his name on like the opposite side of town, and finally he found him on the street, like playing with the sign, and he's like, "You're Little Walter?" Oh God. Yeah. Shot him. Right there.
Yeah.
He was like taking money away from him. You know,
Sure.
It was hard. I mean, these people worked their whole life to get off the plantation and then come and make music in the city, and it was serious business. Like, you know, and then I'm sitting here, you know, like whenever it's like, oh man, I got to get up early for this flight or something, or, you know.
Yeah.
You just have to, it puts it all into perspective.
Perspective is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Talk about where you've toured all over Europe.
Yeah,
you've toured a lot of places. Any other countries around the world that you went with Bernard or any of the guys that you were touring with?
Yeah, I've been to every European country pretty much with Bernard, and done some touring with this guy Bobby Whitlock, who is another big inspiration to me, a keyboard player and singer, and Derek and the Dominoes and Delaney and Bonnie and Friends. and he's very much. How do I explain Bobby? He's very serious as well. You know, it doesn't matter if we're sitting in his living room just messing around. Like, there's no messing around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just warming up here. You know how everybody would just get their tone, they're noodling. Every single time he sits down and sings or plays, it's like pure intention. Like it's the last time he ever does it.
Wow.
You know, and it's kind of like BB was a lot like that and took it very seriously.
It's inspiring. Isn't it inspiring to be around excellence?
Yeah.
I always find that I love being around excellence. It just raises everything that you do. I love that.
Yeah, and excellence and realness. You know,
Yes.
there's like perfectionist, and then and I've played with people like that too.
Yep.
And you have to step up your game in another level, or
Yep.
people that are very highly intelligent musically, harmonically. That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You know. But then there's the people who might not know much, but it's almost more intimidating.
here.
Yeah, you hear
That's what it
Bobby
is.
sing in his living room.
Yeah.
You know, to nobody, and it's just like,
I love that.
whoa.
Dylan, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back. We are watching and thankfully, beautifully watching and listening to Dylan Salfer on the Mick Sterling Experience. We'll be right back.
Hey, hockey fans, are you looking for ways to save money? Bank with Heartland Credit Union, Dakota County's Credit Union, and 2009 River Heights Chamber Business of the Year. You'll enjoy fewer fees, 35,000 surcharge-free ATMs, competitive rates, and federally insured savings. Live, work, worship, volunteer, or attend school in Dakota County? You can join. Visit www.heartlandcu.com or call 651-451-5160. Mention this ad and we'll give you the first $5 to open your account.
Hello, this is Chris Francis on behalf of FishingForBusiness.com. Have you ever thought of holding your next meeting while fishing the beautiful lakes of Minnesota, Wisconsin, or the Dakotas? Listen, go to www.fishingforbusiness.com and all the information is there for you to see. Fishing for Business is a full guide service. Extended or day trips. Spend a day with your best customer or your best employee. Get out of the office, off the phone, and get down to business. FishingForBusiness.com, a unique way to get business done.
Since 2004, MinnesotaSportsOnline.com has strived to bring you the best in high school sports coverage. We have grown to partner with newspapers like the Star Tribune, as well as 70 radio stations across the state. Whether you're checking out the week's top 10s, printing off your playoff brackets, looking up stats, or listening to live audio, we want to say thanks for stopping by. And do us a favor, be sure to tell others about MinnesotaSportsOnline.com.
It's tough to break into a career. Everybody wants to hire someone with experience.
But how can you get experience if no one will hire you?
The National Guard provided paid training, which helped me get my foot in the door with a software company.
I wanted to go into law enforcement. The Guard made me an MP. My military police training looks great on my resume. I'm in finance. The National Guard offered that exact specialty.
In the Guard, you can get paid training in your specialty, then go out and apply those skills in the civilian world.
Employers like to see that you've done the hands-on work and not just read about it in a textbook.
I wouldn't be where I am today without the Guard. I'm serving my country and I'm succeeding in the National Guard.
I'm getting ahead with the Guard.
The training I get helps me in my civilian job.
The Guard is a great opportunity.
Visit 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD and ask how you can get the job skills you need for the career you've always wanted in the National Guard.
All right, about 40 seconds here.
Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
A, B, C, G, D, I can't remember.
Poor nutrition in his first 5 years can limit memory development. Get proper nutrition before it's too late. Call or visit WIC. WIC provides nutrition information, healthcare referrals, even food. To find out more, call 1-866-WIC-INFO. Your child has you, and you have WIC. Brought to you by the National WIC Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Mick Sterling Experience, promoting awareness for the 30 Days Foundation. Search for the 30 Days Foundation to donate or to get help. Now, back to the music.
Yes, we are getting back to the music here. It's the Mick Sterling Experience, the program benefiting the 30 Days Foundation and brought to you in part by I'm With the Band. Also, Apple River Family Campground in Somerset, Wisconsin. And Mick Sterling Presents. Now with more music and interviews, host Mick Sterling.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everybody. It's the Mick Sterling Experience. And what a thrill. We are watching some incredible stuff today in this beautiful studio. Matt was very kind to talk about the 30 Days Foundation. It is a charity that I started back in 2011. And what it does is kind of unique. We're a Minnesota-based charity, and we assist Minnesota families and individuals that are in real-life financial crisis. And we do that by providing a one-time grant. But when we make the grant, it doesn't go to the person. It goes to the service provider that requires the payment. So we're talking about rather unglamorous things like back rent and storage unit bills and phone bills and Xcel Energy bills, or from whatever town you're in, whatever your utility company is. People get in trouble with little things that grow into big things. Nothing ever starts big, it always starts small. And that's what the 30 Days Foundation does. And we're very grateful to say that since 2011, we've assisted over 110,000 grants all around the state of Minnesota. And that's a real big reason why we're doing this show, why we're doing the Mick Sterling Experience, because we want to get the message of the 30 Days Foundation into your town. We're based in the Twin Cities, but we help anybody in the state of Minnesota that needs help. It's very simple. You just need to go on the website. There's no application. Send an email. Let's see what we can do. When we have the funds, we can move very quickly. A lot of charities reach out to us because we do things very quickly. We're kind of, I call the 30 Days Foundation, it's a conduit charity. We try and just get things done. Doesn't matter to us who gets the credit, as long as it gets done. But you have no idea what a phone bill for $65 when it's paid, the trajectory of bad things in that person's mind is one less thing. We kind of try and ease the burden a little bit, one thing at a time. So if you're hearing about the 30 Days Foundation for the first time, go on the website, the30daysfoundation.org. You can donate or you could ask for help too. That's what we do. And if this is a new thing in your town that you never heard of, find out about us and let's get it in your town because we can help you guys. Yeah, thanks. Well, what a thrill to have this talented gentleman on stage. I've been blessed to perform with this man on some of my bands that I do in the Twin Cities, and we get to see him, thankfully, all over the place around town. And it's kind of interesting. I had Mark Lichtai, who's doing another show with us. We performed with a gentleman called Donnie LaMarca, and Donnie just moved to Nashville. And Donnie is one of the greatest piano players. He's internationally great. He is. But he's from here, you know? And we've all known him for decades, and that's Donnie, and he lives here, and, you know, we know he's great. But when he goes to Nashville, and when he's going to be new in Nashville, and he's great, he's going to explode. They're going to love him. And I think that's one of the cool things about what you're doing, Dylan, is that you're not just staying here. You're not just getting that local feedback where everybody certainly appreciates your talent, but even you, as young as you are, you're not new here anymore. You've been playing for a while, and people have a natural tendency to kind of, I don't know, they just take things for granted. You're just here, you know, and you're going to hang and you're going to be great, and that's it. But talk about the thing when you play someplace that nobody has ever heard you before. Do you sense a different reaction when people hear you when you're a complete stranger to that city?
Definitely. I guess the heaviest moment for me was probably where I really noticed this the most was the very first time I went to Europe was with Bernard. You mentioned Bernard Allison. I'm very lucky to have worked with him. He's a great blues artist out of Chicago.
I worked with his father.
Yeah, Luther Allison.
Inspiring.
His father is one of the greatest of all time.
Yep.
So definitely check both of them out if you haven't.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets, really. Luther. Whew.
Luther did a gig for me when I did Heart and Soul in Minneapolis. He drove all the way from Shreveport, Louisiana to Minneapolis. He was going to get paid $2,500, that's all, to do this because it was a charity thing. I offered him the check. He ripped it up. I go, Luther, at least pay your band. He's going, no, I'm not taking any money for it. And he played like 4 hours. It was crazy.
He loved to play, and that's another. It's another guy, and like we were talking about all these people earlier. Definitely getting off topic, but this is important stuff. Where it all came from.
Yeah.
I mean, these people took music seriously.
Yeah.
That was most important. And nowadays people can get. It's really easy for people to get down, especially a lot of people my age, and I'm like, do you know what some of these guys had to go through? Just because they wanted to
Luther's
share.
catchphrase, man, leave your ego, love the people.
Exactly. Yep.
Brilliant.
But one of the first times I really noticed that was in Germany. I think my very first gig out of the States was in Germany. And a lot of the people don't even speak English. But you're sitting there and it was like one moment I had taken this one solo and everything happened to work right. And everybody lit up. It was just this super high energy moment. The place was packed. And I mean, every nuance these people reacted to and paid attention to and were moved by. There were people crying. And I was like, what is happening? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was already on the scene here. I think I was 17 then. So I was playing for 8 years or whatever. And half the time when you're playing or when I'm playing in town, had been at that point, people are there half paying attention, if at all.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like I'm just playing all the time in town. Everybody takes it for granted.
Talk about you're playing all over all over Europe, and in the Twin Cities you have a residence gig at one of the top Twin Cities bars that I played for. I still play 35 years called Bunkers. Talk about your nights at Bunkers, your residence there, and what's the intent? What do you use it for? How does it feel?
It feels amazing, and I don't take that for granted either. I've heard some people say, "Oh, you're doing Bunkers every week. Why are you doing that?" And I really don't take it lightly. I think about people like you and our friend Bobby Vandell, Mark.
Yep.
I mean, all these guys that inspired me and paved the way. I mean, Bunkers has been around for a long time, and it's been the breeding ground for people to have a weekly gig and get a fan base.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few places where people really go and still listen. We've really had a listening crowd there on Wednesdays, and it's not typically like that a lot of places, as I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But Bunkers, people get rowdy, but they're still there to enjoy the music. It's very much a music
and
venue.
the residence thing is very interesting too, because my son Tucker played at a bar nearby Bunkers called the Terminal Bar.
Sure.
And his band Dirt Train played there for 3 years for basically nobody came, but they used that bar to sharpen their knives. They used that bar to write songs, to be make the songs better. They didn't really care. They would have liked to have people there, but it didn't really matter to them. That wasn't why they were there. Is that part of the reason why you do the residency? Is that it just to make your band sharper every week in some form that is kind of mysterious, but what's happening?
Exactly, yeah. So not only is it good to get in front of, you have a gig every week, so you're getting in front of somebody, and you can gain a regular fan base that way. But the coolest thing about it is, I'm very lucky. Actually, one of Tucker's good friends and ex bandmates, Pat Nelson, is in my group, and he had the same exact attitude. Talks about Dirt Train and the weekly gig often, and we're all in it just for the love of music. And once you have that weekly gig, sometimes you can get in this headspace where you're like, it just feels a little bit stagnant. So each week you have to pull out something new. You have to impress your bandmates because you're in the same space once a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
it feels the same. So you have to add a new tune or surprise people and play it a different way without telling them, and it keeps things fresh. And then as soon as you take that and do a gig outside of Bunkers, it just feels crazy good. It feels, you know what I mean? It feels extraordinary because you're so tight from doing that gig.
It's interesting that discipline provides freedom.
Yeah, it does.
Discipline provides freedom. If you can do that every week, I always say, you know, nobody ever goes up to Dylan and goes, man, were you consistent? You were unbelievably consistent today. You know, but if you're not consistent, you don't have anything. You're not going to last. You have to be consistent up here. And that's really, really difficult to do, just to maintain that level. You know, and the fact that you have that as long as you've been playing is really a testament to you and your parents that you listen to those records from, you know, that they got you in. Matt, do we have time for Dylan to do one more song? For sure? Okay. Dylan, you got one more in you?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah? Hey, folks, I'm talking too much. Let's hear Dylan Salfer, ladies and gentlemen, as he's getting his guitar set up here. I want to thank Matt. I want to thank Wallace Syndicated Radio and 21st Century Bank for being just a few of our sponsors to make the show happen. If you're listening to the show in your car or in your bedroom or whatever you're listening to, we hope you're enjoying it, because this studio audience and me sitting on this very nice stool, by the way, it's a very nice stool. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Well, so Mick,
Yes.
we got time for one more in this segment,
All right.
and then we'll go to commercial, and we got time for another song or two.
Oh, lovely. You got
after
one
that.
more in the after that, Dylan? You're cool with that? All right, cool. All right. Dylan Salfer, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, the past couple have been songs I've written, but I wanted to play this song because it's so important to me. A Freddie King tune called Same Old Blues, produced and co-written by Leon Russell, and I know we're both big fans of Mad Dogs and Englishmen, and yeah. Morning rain keeps on falling like the tears that fall from my eyes, yeah. And as I sit in my room, staring out at the gloom in the rain, it's the same old blue. sunshine was all I seen. Now it all looks like clouds to me, yeah. Now the sun has turned to rain, said all my laughter has turned to pain. In the rain, it's the same old blues. In the rain, it's the same old blues. You know that's right. In the rain, it's the same old blues.
Lord. Beautiful.
Only spackle once with Red Devil one-time lightweight spackling. Used for cracks and holes inside and out. It sticks tight to plaster, wallboard, wood, or stucco. Dries smooth and requires little to no sanding. Easy spackling is available at your local Hardware Hank. So stop by and pick up some Red
All right,
Devil
we've got one more
one-time
segment, and
lightweight
it's short.
spackling today.
If we want to stick with time, but it's okay if we don't.
Your first word
Okay,
probably
so we'll
wasn't
have
something
time
like
for
finance
probably
or savings or ATM.
one
But
more
whatever that
song.
first
If
word was,
we'll have
it
time for
opened
one
up a
more
world to
song,
you
and
that
then
was
probably
built on
throw it out.
conversations. It's this exchange of ideas that Wells Fargo puts into practice every day through listening, guiding, and planning. So when the conversation is about ways to grow your savings or your business, we'll be here to
Yeah,
help
so
you
folks,
find
we're
the right
actually
answers.
on our
Because an
time.
open
We
dialogue
gotta
is
meet
what
the time
opens
slot
doors.
of
Wells Fargo.
58 minutes
Together
and
we'll go
50
far.
seconds
Wells
for our
Fargo
radio
Bank
show, right? Because that's what the affiliates will want to take. It's got to have that 50 seconds because they need 10 seconds for station ID. So anyway, we're doing pretty good, and we'll be back with, let's see, in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Still in commercial.
Schools need athletes, but they also need pep bands. Get involved in music, drama, speech, visual arts, or athletics. A message from the Minnesota State High School League.
The Mick Sterling Experience, furthering awareness of the 30 Days Foundation.
I always wanted to be a fireman when I grew up.
A pilot.
A teacher.
For me, it was an engineer.
Over the years, my dream didn't change.
But the rising cost of college was a big reality check.
I was determined to make it on my own, to find a way that I could pay for college.
That's why I joined the National Guard.
The Guard gives me money for college.
So I can go to school full-time and fly part-time.
My unit helps out after a natural disaster hits.
Like after a tornado.
Flood.
Blizzard.
So I get to help people, just like I always wanted.
And around here, that's almost every June.
Monday through Friday, my job might be in finance. But when a wildfire breaks out, I get called up to help control it. There's no bigger rush than being a firefighter in the Guard.
Then flying a Black Hawk.
Then leading my squad.
Then rebuilding my hometown.
The National Guard put me in charge of my future.
Thanks to the Guard, I'm becoming who I always wanted to be.
You can reach your education and career goals faster in the National Guard. Visit 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD and ask us how much you'll receive towards your college expenses.
Sponsored by the Minnesota National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's Mick Sterling.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to take it back in the Mick Sterling Experience. Got time for just probably one more song here, Mick. Give us the introduction there, Mick.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We have a live audience, folks. Live. Much prefer live audiences than the alternative. We are so happy, and what a great hour this has been to watch this very talented gentleman do his thing, and so well. We'll do one more song, ladies and gentlemen, one more time on the Mick Sterling Experience, Dylan Salfer.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. When I lay my burdens down, glory, glory, hallelujah. When I lay burdens down, no more sickness, no more sorrow, no. When I lay my burdens down, no more sickness, no more sorrow. When I lay my burdens down, I'm gonna walk the streets of glory. When I lay my burden down, I'm gonna walk the streets of glory. When I lay my burdens down, no more sickness, no more sorrow. When I lay my burden down, no more sickness, no more sorrow. When I lay my burdens down, I'm gonna walk the streets of glory. When I lay my burden down, I'm gonna walk the streets of glory. When I lay my burden down, when I lay my burden down, when I lay my burden down, I sing glory, glory, glory. I sing glory, 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 glory,
Oh, I'm so sorry we couldn't finish stronger than that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. What a thrill. What a thrill this has been. The Mick Sterling Experience. I hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Thank you for listening. One more time for Dylan Salfer, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to the Mick Sterling Experience from Utility Room A along the banks of the Minnesota River. Catch us each week right here, and don't forget to reach out to the 30 Days Foundation to donate, or more importantly, to receive help. Catch you next time for live music on the Mick Sterling Experience.